Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's your statistics educator Sanju Pal from Srimati LP Savani Vidya Bhavan, educator for your statistics 12th grade. So let's get started. Okay, now over here we are going to see the chain based method. We had already seen what is fixed based method. I will just get it through the fixed based method. Over there, the fixed year was taken from the past and it was taken up as the base year. Over here in chain based method, what is there? Okay, if you see to the formula over here, as it has been given, value of the variable for the current year upon value of the variable of the preceding year multiplied by 100. This is the formula, children, for the index number by the chain based method. So in chain based method, what happens is that the price of the current year we always take up as P1, that is in the numerator, and the price of the just the preceding year, okay, is taken up as P0 and it is multiplied by 100, so we can get the index number, that is I. Okay, now what do we mean by preceding year? I will give you one example over here. As they have given over here, there are 2 years given, that is 2015 and 2016. So what is the preceding year over here? Over here 2015 is the preceding year and 2016 is the current year, right? Similarly, if I take one another example, say 2019 and say the year 2020. Over here 2020 is the current year and 2019 is what? 2019 is the preceding year or the previous year. So over here you always take the value of the variable for the current year in the numerator and the value of the variable of the preceding year, that is the previous year, is always taken up in the denominator. You multiply it by 100. This is how do you get the index number. Over here also the index number formula will remain the same, that is I is going to be equal to P1 upon P0 into 100. P1 is what? Is again the price of the variable of the current year. P0 is what? Over here the price is not the base year, is not of the base year, but it is of the previous year, right? And you multiply it by 100, you get the index number by your chain based method. That is what the chain based method is, right, children? Okay, now over here we are going to see to the next example, that is example number 4, right? That is the data about the bi-monthly closing prices of the shares of a company in the year 2014 are given. Compute the chain based index number from this data. Children, over here you would find they have already told you the method, which method you are going to use, that is the chain based index number we need to find out. Over here they are given us bi-monthly closing prices, and that's why over here you would find, see, the months have been given because it is bi-monthly. So after January directly they have given March, then May, then July, September and November, again because they are bi-monthly closing prices, and then the prices are being given to you for the year 2014, right? Now over here if you see to the sum, right, over here again you would find all those by months. Okay, you are going to write vertically, that's why see they have written over here January, then March, May, July, September and November, right? The prices again, okay, from the given question you are writing it vertically. Now see again for the chain based index number, the formula, that is the value of the variable in the current year upon value of the variable in the preceding month, above also it is of the current month, then value of the variable in the preceding month into 100. Okay, now see again the word preceding, that is just you are going to take the previous year. Now children, as you find out the chain based index number, now for the first month January you would find, because we don't have the previous month, nothing been given for this January 2014, that's why you would find there is no such calculation and directly you are going to take 100 for January. Why? Again the previous month for 2013 December has not been given to us, the value is not been given to us, right? We need the preceding month's value, right? It has not been given, and that's why for the first month, that is of January, you are taking it as 100. Similarly, what you are going to do, come to the second month, that is after January, because it is by monthly closing prices of the shares, right? We'll take the March. The price of the March is 21.20. So now at present it is 21.20 is for the current month, right? So that will come in the numerator. See, 21.20. Then the price of the previous month over here, previous month would be what? January. That is 22, right? So 22, you are going to take it into the base, multiplied by 100. The answer you are getting is 96.36. And that becomes the index number by chain based method. Similarly, then go to May. In May, the value, or you can say the price, is 22, right? So 22 you are going to take in the numerator. Then the price you will take for just the previous by month of the previous by month, that is 21.20, that you are going to take into the base, that is 21.20, again multiplied by 100. The index number that you are getting is 103.77, right? Similarly, you are going to do it for July also, September also, and November also. So you would get all these are the index number by your chain based method. So I'm repeating, that is, if you want to find out the index number by chain based method, it is obviously value of the variable, okay, in the current year or the month, whatever the thing is given to you, upon value of the variable in the preceding year or month, whatever is given to you, multiplied by 100. That is the chain based index number. What is the difference with the fixed base index number? That again, in fixed base index number, in the denominator you always take any value of any past month or the year, right? So that is the main difference between the fixed base index number and chain based index number, right? And obviously there is going to be the merits and the limitations also of the chain based method. Now we know what is the chain based method. So as per the chain based method, okay, we are going to see its merits and demerits. We had also seen the merits and demerits of the fixed base method. Over here we are going to study the merits and demerits or limitations of the chain based method. So obviously, first of all, the advantages. We'll come to the first advantage, right? What is the advantage of the chain based method, okay, of finding out the index number? So we'll see to the first one. The first one, you would find what the given: the problem of selecting the base year does not arise in this method because at a given time the preceding year is taken as the base year. Yes, children, you would find there is no such problem to find out the base year, because we know that in chain based method, okay, in the denominator we have to always take the price of the previous year or the preceding year, okay. There is no such problem that we have to take in the denominator any price of any past year. It should be a normal year. Such kind of problem, okay, there is we won't be able to face over here. So it's very easy, okay. Whatever your current year is there, just you take the value of the preceding year and just multiply it by 100, right? So that becomes one of the merits of our chain based method. See to the next one. Say, as the comparison is with the preceding year, new items can be included according to the taste and choice of the consumers, and it is possible to remove the items not in use. Yes, children. Now we have seen that yes, as the year progresses or as the time goes by, okay, you would find the preferences of the consumers always change, right? So over here there is no such problem to find out the index number, because in any given year, even though the preference of the consumers do get changed, for the base year we are just checking the preceding year, right? So it is just close to your current year, right? So to find out the index number and to do the comparison is easy, and you can say a little bit relevant over here, and that becomes one of the merits of chain based method. See the next one, what they're given. This method is useful in the field of economics, trade and commerce, as the value of the variable in the current period is compared with the period in the recent past. Now obviously, yes, children, If we talk about the preceding year or the previous year, it is the recent past, right? So you would find, while we talk about economics, trade and commerce, if you want to do any kind of comparison, you can do the comparison, and you can find out what is the difference, whether your prices are increasing or decreasing, and you can take the relevant decision. It is really useful because you are taking the prices just of the preceding year or the previous year. So the comparison becomes very much easy, and the main thing is that useful, right? Over here, now we are going to see to its limitations or the demerits. So what they given, this method is suitable only for the short term comparison. Yes, children, now you would find as we are taking in the base year, we are taking the preceding year as the base year. So you are doing the short term comparison. You are comparing the current year with just the previous year. So short term comparison is basically being made. Okay, and so that's why you can't over here do any kind of comparison or say long term comparison. Okay, so that becomes one of the limitations, right? That you can only, with the chain based index number, you can only do the short term comparison, right? So that becomes one of the limitations. Come to the next one. See, if there is an error in the calculation of the index number by this method, then the effect of that error continues in the interpretation of the index number of the succeeding year. Yes, children. Now see, suppose while doing the calculation of index number, you have done somewhere some error, or you can say if any of the prices has been given but it is with some error, right? So what happens is that as you are taking the prices of the previous year also, as you go by or with the passage of the year, you would find that error always continues. So the index number of every year that you are finding, okay, will be full of mistakes, and that becomes one of the demerits. That if error is there somewhere, okay, at the start, that error will continue if you're finding the index number by your chain based method. So that becomes one of the limitations. See the next one. There is no uniformity in the computation of index number obtained by this method. Yes, children. Okay, as you are finding out the index number, there is no such uniformity. Now, how uniformity is not there? Because the base year, the prices or the value of the base year always keeps on changing, right? So that uniformity is not maintained. If I talk about the fixed base method, okay, over there what happens? The value of the variable in the base year remains the same. The value in the denominator remains the same. So the comparison becomes very much easy, and you would find mainly it is really useful. Why? Because with the same year you are comparing the prices of the different years. But over here, what is the problem? Your prices of the base year always keeps on changing, right? And that's why you would find that uniformity in the computation, okay, cannot be maintained in finding out the index number, right? We'll see to the last limitation, that is, if the information for a year is not available, then the index number for the next year cannot be obtained. Definitely, children. Now we have seen the sum, the last sum that what we saw is that the prices whatever was given to you, each and every prices were useful in finding out the index number of the current year. Now suppose in any case one of the prizes is not given, or you don't have any one of the prizes, right? Now what will happen is that that particular prize you won't be able to take in the base, right? How you are going to then find out the index number by chain based method? Okay, you don't have any tool to find out the index number by chain based method. Why? Because you don't have the value to put it into the denominator, right? So index number cannot be found out in that case if any of the value is missing, and that also becomes one of the limitations of your chain based method, right? So these are the merits and the demerits or the limitations of your chain based method index number. Now children, over here the fifth sum I'm going to give you in homework, because see, we'll see to the sum what they're given, and you know how to basically calculate. So what they're given, we'll see to the fifth sum. The data about the purchase of the groundnut by an edible oil mill from the year 2008 to 2015 is given. Okay, if you see to the table over here, the year is being given from 2008 to 2015. That's 2008, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. What they given? You would find purchase of the groundnut in tons, okay, is being given. Okay, there's a quantity given to you. Okay, 230, 250, 230. Okay, it goes till 300. What they given? Prepare the index number by the fixed base method. Okay, the fixed base method. Okay, now you know the formula to find out the index number by fixed base method. That is value of the variable of the current year divided by value of the variable of the base year, right, into 100. Okay, and that year has been given to you. See, the 2008, the value of 2008 you are going to take in the base year, that is 230 over here, right? Then what they given with the chain based method. Okay, chain based method also we have seen, that is index number is equal to value of the variable of the current year divided by value of the variable of the preceding year into 100, right? So that also you can find out. And then they've given, okay, by taking the average quantity purchased in the year 2010 and 2011. Okay, so what you are going to take now? In the base, you are going to take the average, okay, of the quantity of 2010 and 2011. Okay, now what is the quantity over here? Quantity for 2010 is 230. Quantity for 2011 is 250. You are going to take the average of it over here, because 2 years are there. You are going to divide it by 2. That is 230 plus 250, that will give you 480. 480, say divide by 2, right, that will give you 240. So in the denominator, as the base quantity, you are going to take 240 for each and every year, and you are going to find out the index number. So that is how you do this sum, right? So that will be the homework, because this 3 types of sums, okay, we have already done. Okay, we have already discussed the sum, the fifth sum, right? Now come to the sixth sum, children, right? This is our sixth example. What they given? The data about the sale of the 3 grain flour wheat, the bajri and chana at a flour mill from the year 2011 and 2015 are given below. Okay, what they given? Compute the general index number using the simple average with fixed base method. Over here, fixed base method we have to use, or we have to find out general index number by the fixed base method, and we have to take the base year of 2011 and say the chain base method. Okay, so you see the sum over here. Acha. Now first of all, why again? Why the general price index number? The general price index number, why? Because over here 3 items have been given to you. That is wheat flour is there, bajri flour is there, and chana flour is there. Because 3 different items are there, that's why we are going to find out the general price index number in this sum. Again, over here the base year, they have told us to take it as 2011, right? And prices, or you can say sale in lakh rupees, okay, has been given to you from 2011, 2012, 13, 14 and 15, right? All these prices are in say lakh rupees of this 3 flour, or this 3 items, wheat, bajri and chana, right? So now we are going to see what is the solution for that. Now the first one you would find, as they told us to do it by the fixed base method, right? So you would find this is the solution by the fixed base method. Now children, see very much carefully over here. Vertically, again wheat flour, bajri flour and chana flour is there, right? See, years have been taken, okay, into the column 2011, then 12, 13, 14 and 15. Now if you see to the value, children, okay, as we have discussed, that in 2011 you would find that 100 you are going to take, right? Because why 100? As you will calculate as per our formula, right? Okay, 2011 has been given as the base year, right? So 100 would be coming in our first column of 2011, right? Then in 2012, okay, now for the current year, that is 2012, the value is 46. So that comes in the numerator, right? 40 is for the previous year into 100. So you are going to take 115. Over here 40 previous what I mean to say, it is of the base year. Over here base year was what? It was been given 2011 and the value was 40. So that's why over here 40 has been taken in the denominator. That's how you are going to find for 2012 say wheat flour. Similarly for 2013 you would find the value is 50 for the wheat flour, so 50 in the numerator. Again the price for the base year 2011 is 40, that's why 40 has been taken in the denominator, multiplied by 100, you are getting say 125. Similarly you are going to do it for 2014 also and 2015 also. Okay, in the same manner you are going to do it for say bajri flour and also say chana flour. Okay, now after finding out in this way all the index number, right, for each and every year for all those three items, you are going to add them. Add them how? That see over here total has been given to you, right? You are going to add them. That is 100 for wheat flour, 100 for bajri flour, 100 for chana flour. You will add them, 100 plus 100 plus 100, it will give you 300. Similarly C of 2012 it's 115 excuse me 150 plus 128, if you just add them will give you 393. Similarly you are going to do it subsequently for 2013, 2014, 2015. you are going to add them and you are going to find out the total for the same. Now the time comes to find out the general index number. So that's why over here we are going to take total divided by 3. We have done the total over here, right? Now we are going to divide it by 3. Now again, why divide by 3? Because there are 3 items given to us. Which are those 3 items? Those 3 items are, you would find that is your wheat flour, bajri flour and chana flour. 3 items are there. That's why we are dividing it by 3 in each and every year, right? So 300 total divided by 3, you will get 100. Similarly 393 is the total, divide by 3, you will get 131. Then 465 is the total, divided by 3, 155. 542 is the total, divided by 3, you will get 180.67. 654 divided by 3, that is 218. That is how you find out the general price index number or general index number by the fixed base method. Similarly over here just beneath that you would find the solution has been given for the chain base method, right? So in chain base method you would find again just the method remains the same, right? Only the formula gets changed. That is, you only find you are in the denominator, you are taking the price of the preceding year, right? So again see in the vertically you would find say the grain flour, that is wheat flour, bajri flour and chana flour is been given. Okay, for the year 2011 again you are going to take 100, 100 and 100. See of 2012 now. Now see minutely what is the difference. Okay, say again 46 of 2012 we are taking in the numerator. Now what is the price of the in the preceding year? The price in the preceding year is 40 and that's why we are taking 40 in the denominator, multiplying it by 100, you are getting 115. Come to year 2013, right? In the current year 2013 now is our current year. That particular price we are taking in the numerator. Now what is the price now for the previous year? You would find it is the 46 actually, and that 46 we are taking in the denominator. You again multiplied by 100, you will get 108.70. Okay, that is how you do it for 2014 also and 2015 also, and that is for wheat flour you will get the index number. Similarly you are going to do it for bajri flour also, chana flour also, and after finding all the index numbers, right, again you are going to do the total. So that is the row of total. You will just add all the values, 100 plus 100 plus 100, 300, 115 plus 150 plus 128, again 393. Over here 108.70, 120 plus 125, you are getting 353.7. Similarly you are getting 348.67 and 359.53. Again to find out the general price index number, you are taking the total in the numerator, dividing it by 3. Again why dividing by 3? Because there are 3 items. So 300 divided by 3 will give you 100. 393 divided by 3, 131. 353.7 divided by 3, 117.90. 348.67 divided by 3, 116.22, 359.53 divided by 3, 119.84. That is the general price index number by chain based method. Got the children? So that is how you find out the general price index number by both the methods, right? Okay, now come to example number 7. This also I am giving you in homework because this is what we have already done it. The following data are available about the crimes in a city. Data about the crimes in a city in different years. Find the general index number by the fixed base method. Again, children, see over here they told us the general price index number, right? And over here, what are the items? Over here, 3 types of crimes have been given to you. That is murder, violence and rape, and robbery, and also theft of property. So over here there are 4 different items. So as you find out the general index number, children, you are going to divide the total by 4. See over here the solution. You are going to divide it by 4. That is only the difference over here, right? Okay. One more thing is that, children, in this sum you would find, now obviously as they have told us to find it by index number by the fixed base method, right? Now just see the year. What is the year given to you? Over here 2010 we have to take it as the base year, right? 2010 we have to take it as a base year, and it is starting from 2007. Now over here one question arises, that's how 2010, because we always for the fixed base method we always take the past year, right? But children, as into the sum they're given for 2010, right? So whatever the prices are there for the 2010, because they are specified over here, they take 2010 only as the base year. So those prices you are only going to take in the denominator as the base price, because they are specified that take the prices of 2010 only to find out the index number by fixed base method, right? So our method remains the same, right? In the denominator you are going to take the prices of 2010 because it is by fixed base method, and over here because there are 4 items, over here when I talk about items, we're talking about the types of crime. 4 different types of crimes have been given to us. That is murder, violence and rape, robbery and theft, right? And we are going to find out the general price index number. So totally you are going to divide it by 4, right? And you will get the general price index number. So that is how you do the sum. So you will complete this sum, right? Now children, there comes our first exercise, that is 1.1, and there are 4 sums, right? Whatever the sums we have discussed, or the methods we have discussed, or the way we have done the sums, okay, the sums into the exercise 1.1 will be of the same type. There are 4 basically sums in exercise 1.1, right? So along with the sums of these examples what we have discussed today, in homework you are also going to do exercise 1.1, complete 1.1, that is 4 sums. So today's you would find we have seen example number 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the 4 sum we have seen today, we have discussed today, along with 4 sum of exercise 1.1. That's total 8 sums you are going to do in homework, right? So thank you very much, children. Okay, it's again your educator Sanjeev Pal. Okay, see you next time, right, with our new topic. Thank you very much, and just complete the sums. God bless you all. Take care of yourself and your family, right?